Coming up, I'm going to give you 10 ways to actually boost your confidence, and I think confidence is a superpower. And then we're going to look at a troubling survey. Ethics ratings down across all professions. We'll dig into why. All right, folks, I'm here for one reason, and that's to help you grow personally so that you can advance professionally. Let's get into this. How many of you are tired of imposter syndrome? The very idea, I feel like such an imposter. It's just good old-fashioned doubt, by the way. How many of you are tired of it? Come on, it's exhausting. Insecurity, imposter syndrome is exhausting. I mean, it will just absolutely suck the life out of you. But I got great news. Becoming confident is as possible as adding muscle. Some of you go, I am flabby. Well, you get in the gym long enough, you can turn the flab into muscle. And I'm going to tell you how to do this with your confidence. So here we go. We're going to look at 10 simple ways to do this. So confidence is just self-assurance. I believe in me. I trust myself to make good decisions, to do good things. I think most people think of confidence as, you know what, it's just part of my personality. Either you got it or you don't. And I'm not buying that. And I'll tell you how I know. I can be, in a span of a minute, the most confident person in the world, and then 60 seconds later, the most insecure person in the world. It has nothing to do with personality, per se. It has everything to do with mindset. I don't care the personality type. You have the right mindset, you can be a confident person. So this is not something you get from childhood or you get from being popular in high school. It's a skill. And I want you to, again, think of it like a muscle. You can and you must build it if you want to meet your potential. So once you realize that, now you can start to go, all right, Ken, I can get intentional here. So let me tell you how you can be intentional to build confidence, okay? There's only one way to do this. Practice, practice, practice. So here's 10 ways. Let's go. Number 1, learn something new. You could be in a rut of insecurity, in a rut of doubt. And one way to begin to pull yourself out of that rut is go learn something new. Go learn something new. And remind yourself in doing this. This is what learning something new does. Reminding yourself that you are capable of improving. I like to say this, that the first time is the worst time. First time you ride a bike is the worst time. First time you give a speech is the worst time. First time you go on a date. I mean, I could just keep going. Careful in there. The first time is the worst. And so what happens, this is a fun little way to game your brain and you game your mindset by going, all right, I just reminded myself I can, in fact, learn something. I can improve. Number 2, learn to talk better. Now, what do I mean by this? I don't mean to go become a Toastmaster participant and learn how to give a speech, but you could combine 1 and 2, speak better, talk better, and learn something new. You can, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying pay attention to, if you're the most extreme introvert, pay attention to things like saying like when you're not supposed to say like. And you got a 34-year-old who sounds like a 17-year-old. Improve the way you talk and communicate. Watch yourself. You know what? Just learn to speak in one-on-one and in groups. Lift your language. Let me tell you what happens. Some of you are still going, I don't know. I just know. I know there's people that go, what are you talking about? Let me say this. Do people treat well-spoken people better? You answer the question. If you are well-spoken, you get a little added respect. Do you guys agree with that in the booth? All right. Does that mean you got to be an orator? No. It's just the way you present yourself, it does 2 things. People respect you more, and as a result, you feel that exchange and it lifts you. It's great for building confidence. Learn, just watch how you talk. You don't have to drop in 50-cent words either. But just become better in that area. Number 3, change your body language. This is on the same level here, right? Ask some people, what's my body language? Say to close friends and family, I want you to watch my body language. What is it sending? What message is it sending? Pay attention to your body language. Watch a video on YouTube about body language. Listen to a podcast. Read a book. Amy Cuddy. Look her up. Cuddy. Has some great stuff on body language. Change your body language. 4, become aware of what you do really well. Character traits. People tell me all the time I'm loyal. People tell me I've got a great work ethic. I see it. I hear it. Begin to hear and see things about yourself. Become aware and embrace the fact that you've got some great character traits and you've got some skills. Embrace it. Believe it. All of a sudden you begin to feel better about yourself. One of the things I have to remind myself all the time, and I'll remind you right now, that the voice I listen to the most is me. I don't care how many people you have speaking in your life. You know the person that speaks to you the most every day? You. So, we make fun of these things. I remember, I don't know if anybody, Joe will remember. Alex, I don't know if you remember, there was a great character named Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live. And it was Al Franken that played him. Al Franken went on to become the U.S. Senator from Minnesota. Anyway, for those keeping score at home, if you've never seen this, look it up on YouTube. It's fantastically funny. You don't remember it, do you, Alex? Oh my gosh, I just changed your life. Alex, your homework assignment is this weekend to pull up I Am Stuart Smalley on YouTube. You're going to love it. And so the character was on Saturday Night Live. And so what he would do is he'd speak into a mirror and he would compliment himself, right? And Stuart Smalley would just sit there and say, I am special. And as silly as that is, and that's what we all kind of tend to think, well, that's silly. The way he did it was silly, but there's great truth in Stuart Smalley. Embrace that you have some great traits. Number 5, do some hard things. This is a cousin to learning something new. And it kind of falls hand in hand. Learn something new. Do something new. So let me tell you what I've done recently. I started to play pickleball. I've played golf. Golf is hard. Taught me a lot. Pickleball, not as hard, but it's still hard because I'm playing guys that are really good. It's hard. Do hard things. Work out. Do something hard. Remind yourself that you got grit, that you're tough. 6, learn from the best. Whatever you're interested in. You're interested in cooking? Watch some of the best cooking shows out there. You're in leadership? Read, listen, watch everything from the great leaders. Learn from the best. In today's world, it's flat. Information is readily available. Learn from the best. You will get confident because you go, that's doable. That's accessible. I learned something. 7, get aware on you. Who am I? What's my style? Like, who am I? Goodness gracious. One of the biggest reasons why people aren't confident is they aren't completely aware of who they are. Thus, they aren't even able to settle into that and go, oh, this is who I am. Right? Find your style. So, you know what? I'll be transparent. The team likes to have fun at my expense around here. The way I dress. Now, not because they think I'm goofy, but like my friend George Camel. Okay? George likes to have fun at my expense around the office because George is snarky. And he knows I love him, and he loves me. And so he'll say things like, when I wear a cardigan, I'm a classic guy. I like to wear cardigans. That's who I am. And George likes to make fun of it. But you know what? It's part of who I am. That's just that. So what's your style? Like, who are you? Be that, accept that, watch your confidence grow. 8, get healthy. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Start to get healthy. Watch your confidence. Drop 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Watch something change. Hey, get in the scripture, get in the word. Let me tell you something. Prayer, boom, watch your confidence go. 9, build the right community around you. You get the right people around you who see you as you are. They're like you, like-minded, like values. Let me tell you something. You just realize, hey, I'm not the only one that's like me out here. Watch your spine straighten up. 10, make a plan. Make a plan for the long term. Get clear on your direction and destination. And watch your confidence that I belong, that I matter, that the world needs me. Watch that build your confidence. There it is, folks. 10 simple, repeatable ways to grow your confidence. And watch this. When my confidence grows, my courage grows with it, and I will not be deterred. I will stay the course. Hey, folks, I want to tell you about Aiden. He started at Bethel Tech 2 weeks after graduating high school, and less than a year later, he's 19 and working as a full-stack software developer. He loved the idea of being able to work at his own pace, but what he really thought was cool is Bethel Tech's faith-based learning environment and being with classmates who had a similar worldview. Now, if this is you, or if you have a son or a daughter that's looking for the next step out of high school, and they may be tech-minded, at least interested, you need to talk to Bethel Tech. Listen to this. Fortune Magazine named them as a top 10 best UX UI bootcamp for 2024. And right now, they're offering you 10% off because you listen and watch The Ken Coleman Show. They also allow you to pay cash, and I know you'll like that. Go to betheltech.net/Ken Coleman for details. Terms and conditions apply. Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. All right, I want to take on this issue of trust. I think this is troubling for our society. Leaders, I want you to pay special attention to this. This is a little bit more of a leader-manager focused conversation because I think you are the solve. You're an enormous part of the solution. Here's the headline. This is from my friends at Gallup. Ethics ratings of nearly every profession down in the United States. So I see a headline like that and I go, this is a bigger issue. There are some micro causes of why this would be true. I mean, I want you to think about every profession, right? Let's just nurses, teachers, bankers, doctors, lawyers. Okay, you with me? So according to Gallup, every major bucket of a profession is down when it comes to ethics ratings. In other words, trust. If I trust you, by extension, I believe that you have high integrity. It's not possible to think that somebody's integrity is in question and trust them. So let's just boil this down. And this is a macro problem. We have a massive trust problem in the United States right now. And Alex, I'm going to tell you right now, I may go out on a really, really long limb here in a second. I'm not sure. I'm gonna walk through this, Alex, but I might take a pretty big risk here in a second. Some of you might get mad at me. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to tell you what I think one of the greatest factors that has caused trust. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Don't get too nervous. How about that for a tease? All right. Let's look at this. There are 5 professions in this study by Gallup that hit an all-time low. And then we're going to look at a small list of the lowest trust professions in the United States right now. All right? But these are the 5 that hit new lows. Members of Congress, that includes senators, journalists, clergy, and pharmacists. Now, here's how far they dropped. Congress dropped 6%, the lowest drop, but only because they were already low. It's kind of like, is there another level beyond the basement? Congress is now like flirting with drilling a hole in the basement. That's how low Congress is. All right, now, journalists dropped 19%. That's a pretty sizable drop. So in other words, I'm recoining this as it's trust. Trust has dropped. People are questioning their ethics. 19% drop in are they ethical? Journalists. This is really sad. Clergy. That breaks my heart, Alex. Alex used to work in the church. I'm a pastor's kid. Breaks my heart that the second largest drop as it relates to ethics is clergy. So sad. And this is, I got to tell you, Alex, if you sat me in a room and polled me for an hour, I don't know that I would have generated this answer. And we're going to dive into it. The largest drop for a profession as it relates to its trust factor is pharmacists. Isn't that interesting? And I'm also going to tell you, I'm not sure I can put my finger on that one. Anybody got a theory in there you want to offer? If you don't, that's okay. I can't quite put my finger on that one unless pharmacists are being tied to big pharma. And that's my best guess, meaning you come out of the pandemic. I think multiple vaccines, multiple drug companies. I think you look at pills. I think you look at the stories that have been out there, big movies made on it. I guess big pharma is rubbing off on the actual pharmacist. But my goodness, the pharmacist in the window at Walgreens is not behind all this. They're just mixing it. That's my only take. Is that square with you guys? I don't know that people are thinking when they drive up to Walgreens or CVS, jerk. I actually don't think that's happening. So I do think big pharma. Okay, now let me get into this. I'm covering a lot of territory here, folks. Thank you for your patience. These are the least trustworthy professions in the United States. I just covered the ones that dropped the most, but if you look at these, here we go. Medical doctors joining pharmacists, police officers, bankers, and journalists. So here's what's interesting to me about those positions. And I'm addressing the macro problem that we have in this country about trust. If you look at medical doctors and pharmacists being there, they are, you can throw a blanket over them, and this is healthcare in general. I don't think that people trust hospitals and doctors because they've seen how the healthcare structure, the way insurance is affecting medical care. I don't blame doctors. Doctors are stuck in the system. That's my take. But you look at big time insurance, you look at liability, which is why we need tort reform in this country. You look at that, and that's why people don't trust doctors and pharmacists. Doctors and pharmacists represent the system, and people feel like they're getting price gouged. People feel like they're getting moved through the system, and that's why people don't trust pharmacists and doctors. It's the system. Now let's look at this. Police officers. What's going on there? Bad publicity. And I don't mean in any way to minimize what's going on. I'm saying bad headlines. Bad headlines, right? I mean, my goodness. You look just to our west here. Memphis, one of the most brutal police beatings we've ever seen. Thank goodness it wasn't racial in this situation, but many of them are. And highly charged. So, unfortunately, because the news loves to sensationalize things and give things life that, quite frankly, doesn't need a life, they've made bad apples in the police force the poster children for those who protect and serve across the country. That is my point. And it doesn't take much for the public to go, I don't trust every police officer. Right? Sensationalism. Bankers? What's going on there? People's money? Their fees? Interest rates? It's very, very easy for people who feel like they're victimized to find a bad guy. It's interesting. Journalists. This one is, again, not shocking. journalism has become more about activism. And the more that journalism becomes about activism, the more people begin to lose trust. So here it is. I'm going to dangle this carrot, and I'm not going to pay it off on purpose because I'm actually going to try to provoke some thinking. Why do we have this massive erosion of trust in the United States right now? I'm going to give it to you. And it's not on one single person. But I'm going to tell you, it has coalesced around a single person. One name. Trump. Trump has changed. I'm not saying bad or good. You all can make your own opinion on him. What I'm saying is, Trump, his very presence, we will look back on this time and say his very existence. And again, I'm not accusing him of anything. So those of you that are mature, hear what I'm saying. I'm saying this guy in this time period in history, the way he is loved, hated, treated by the media, not treated by whatever. You draw your own opinions. I'm going to tell you something. For whatever reason, this season that he is in public life is the most polarized period that we have seen in the United States in a long, long time. I'm not putting blame. I am not putting praise. I'm just going, it's pretty amazing how it has begun to erode our society and erode trust. Just that whole entire situation. Fascinating to me. And I think one day we'll all be able to break it down. So you run with that. Have fun at the old water cooler on that one. You can lay blame, lay praise. I don't care. I'm not getting in the middle of that. But I do think that we're in one of these times in history that we just have from time to time throughout history. Polarization around one person. All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. It's time for a coaching session here. Let's go to Michelin. Am I saying that right? Guys? All right. No one's listening to me. Is it Michelin? Is that how you say that? I hope so. I always like to pronounce it right. Michelin. Okay, good. I'm a stickler. Michelin from Calgary, Canada. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, you are.
I apologize. The guys were in there talking about football or something, and I was just trying to get it right. So I'm glad I got it right. What's going on today?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you for taking my call. I really respect what you're doing, and it's certainly a great free resource for so many people in your country and in mine. So thank you so much, Ken.
That's
and
so
Dave
kind.
Ramsey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, my question for you is I followed my passion.
Which was?
I did what Dave Ramsey calls a dumb butt career.
What was that?
I became a poetry professor, and I was caught in the academic restructuring, the changes where they no longer hire tenure, they only hire contract. Mm-hmm. And although I had a lot of success, I've never been paid well or securely, and I found myself quitting my job because I believed that it couldn't get any better. And now I'm kind of in the middle of life with a really weird skill set, wondering how I retool and wondering how to build from here.
Okay, love this. Well, I'm going to submit to you it's easier than you think. How about that?
Oh, I'd love that.
All right, great.
I'd love for it to be easier than I think.
Well, let's map it out.
Okay.
What does success, you said you've been successful as a poetry professor, and is this on did I hear you higher ed level?
Yes, higher ed level, yeah.
So when you said you've been successful, what does that mean?
I've published about 70 books for other people. I got an award from the Queen for my contributions to the community.
Wow.
Stuff like that. So it's
when you say you published books, what is that? Yeah. What, poetry books?
Yeah.
Did you personally do it, or you did it for a publisher?
Well, it's a publisher that I have a very close relationship with. We're partners, so.
Okay, so you were a professor, and then it's kind of like you had a side job. Is that what I'm understanding?
Right.
And,
Yes, that's right.
and so did you play the role of editor, recruiter? What was your role in the publishing part?
Yes, both. I'm an acquisitions editor, and so I do acquisitions and editing.
Fantastic.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but
now
it doesn't pay. It's very.
I know.
It's very non-lucrative.
I get it, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get caught up quickly on your tool belt of skills and experience.
Yeah, you bet.
Because
Thank you.
what we've got to do is, let me come at this from 50,000 feet above for a moment.
Okay.
What I'm attempting to do with you and what I need your help with is, well, how do we take your skills and experience and now find out where those transfer into other industries?
Yeah.
Make sense?
That's what I'd like to know. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you. Okay, so high level, I'm throwing some stuff out to get your brain going. And then I want you to edit. Since you're an editor, I want you to edit my list, okay? But
you can do it.
Here's what I believe. I believe you have the skill of communication. I believe you have the skill of discernment. I believe that you enjoy the analysis side of content. That's what the acquisition editor's doing, is looking but analyzing. Is this good content? I think you've got a lot of experience with content, and we live in a day and age where content is and always will be king. The entire internet is about content. ChatGPT is about aggregating content. We now see every industry everywhere in the world has to have video content on their website, on their social media, and you are a content wizard.
You're sweet.
No. I think I'm honest. Am I right? Edit that list. Edit everything I just said to you. Where am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
But how do I turn that into...
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. I just want to make sure that I get... What I'm trying to do is give you a shot of vitamin C. Confidence. Right? I want you to see yourself as you truly are. I want you to get confident. That's how we open the show. Confidence. And so what I'm trying to do is get you to go, oh, that's very transferable.
That's very transferable.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now you said it. Now you believe it. True or false?
I think the action is the thing that makes me really believe something. So
right, but we got to know.
I believe it at my heart.
All right. So here's my point. Off the top of your head, let's just have some fun here. Okay. I want you to think of a job that's outside of academia, outside of publishing, that would be really content heavy.
Yeah.
That you would be a natural at because you got so much skill and experience. So now it's just about, let's get the new rhythm and the new function. So give me a couple of job ideas. Don't worry about the nail in the title, but what you would be doing during the day that would play off of your skill and experience. Go.
Okay. I would really love to be a narrative coach, because part of being a coach is about creating a story.
Yes.
That's actually what you're helping me do right now.
100%.
So because I've got such a good grip on storytelling itself,
right.
and word choice, I think that would be really fun.
It would be absolutely fun. But are there narrative coaches?
Yeah.
Is that such a thing?
I believe so.
Great. Go do some research on it. Go do some research.
Okay.
What does it pay? Who's hiring those people? But let's go a little bit broader. Okay. I'm going to give you an example of a position at Ramsey Solutions that you could apply for based on your skill and experience. And that's copywriter.
Okay.
Writing for a personality. Each of the Ramsey personalities has a writer. They write articles for us in our voice. I edit it. I make sure it's what I believe, and we work together. But they write. Could you or could you not come in for any of the Ramsey personalities and be a wonderful copywriter, writing articles and blogs and things of that nature, writing for our show? Could you do that, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, with your one hand tied behind your back and half your brain. Right?
Yes. Yes.
You starting to see where I'm going here?
I do, yeah. I never thought of copywriter. That's
just one position. You are not limited to that. I don't even want you necessarily to put that on you like a coat. I'm just saying you take your abilities and your experience, and all of a sudden you're really, really valuable. You think about how many major companies, government agencies need someone who can write and create content. You can do both for someone or do it for yourself. And I'm going to give you my
right after this call, can I apply at Ramsey Solutions?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will do that.
I mean, you can. Well, I'm not going to keep you from it. I'm not going to hire you. I can't even recommend you. I don't know you well enough, but you can absolutely apply. But here's what I'm going to do. Have you gotten my Get Clear assessment?
Not yet.
I'm going to give it to you.
Looking at it online.
I'm giving it to you today. So, Christian, I want Micheline, when we hang up here, to get my assessment. I want you to take it. And and you're going to be so excited with what you're going to get out of it, the report and then a purpose statement, and you're going to apply everything I've just coached you through. Okay. And all you need to do right now is ideate. You are just dealing with some doubt that your skill set and experience is limited only to poetry and only limited to publishing and only limited to academia. That's what you think. And my whole goal is to go, no, you're a writer extraordinaire. You're a content machine. You've got a lot of abilities and a lot of experience that can be plugged into the corporate world.
Okay.
And I love the coaching idea, guiding others. I mean, I love all of that. You could become a trainer, because again, a person who can teach poetry can teach any other subject in the world. True or false?
True.
You are an instructor. I'm going to open up HR training, human resource training, You could be a manager. A professor could be a leader of people. A professor can be an instructor of any topic in the world because you are trained on how to be a professional teacher.
Right.
So I'm opening up so many lanes for you. You got it?
I got it.
So when you get your results from your Get Clear assessment, you now treat that as a job description.
Okay.
And you can plug any job in the world that you think is a good fit for you into that. And you go, does this job allow me to pull this off every day? And that's all you got to do, my friend. Thank you, Micheline, for listening. Hang on the line. Christian's going to get you the Get Clear assessment. Also, give her the book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and give her the Proximity Principle. It's the bundle. This is The Ken Coleman Show.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.